I'm sure by now everyone has seen that video with T.I., Tiny, and King at the Atlanta Falcons game and the confrontation that happened between T.I. and King. A lot of people are putting the weight on King, saying that it was his fault and that he should not have been speaking to his parents that way. Some people have even brought the Bible in it by saying, in the Bible it says you should honor your mother and your father, and so he was wrong. I don't put the full weight of that on him when I saw the video. There was things in that video that was said as well as not said, but the weight do not fall on King. I feel that Tiny as well as T.I. hold responsibility for that whole situation. When you look at the situation that took place, one of the things that T.I. was saying was that King was embarrassing himself as well as embarrassing the family. The man is the head of the household and he sets the tone for the family. And so if he feels that King was embarrassing the family, he should think back to when he embarrassed his daughter, Deyjah. He was on a podcast and he brought up the subject of her, him taking her to her gynecologist appointment and him, making sure her hymen is still in place. That was very embarrassing for a young girl to have her information put out to the world for the world to see and, put thoughts in their mind. So he set the tone by embarrassing the family himself, especially embarrassing his daughter. And then the second thing in that video is when Tiny actually took the phone from King because he was doing a live, and she took the phone from him and she stated that the reason he wanted to stay with his grandmother and did not want to stay with them in the gated community is because at his grandmother's house he was able to suck his pacifier until I think about the age of 6 or 12, I forgot exactly. But that's embarrassing to him. He's a young man, he's an adult now, he's 19 I think, if I'm not wrong. That's embarrassing to put that out in social media that this person sucked the pacifier until they was around 12 years old. And also with pacifier, when kids suck pacifier, suck their thumb or suck their fingers, sometimes that's used as a soothing mechanism. They use that to self-soothe. They, for whatever reason, they need to feel safe and kind of calm themselves down. So they will suck a pacifier longer than necessary, or they will suck their thumb or suck their fingers. And then when you look at King's overall attitude, he's been displaying that attitude for a while because people are saying, they don't know why he's so big on, acting all tough and everything. And they feel that he's not a tough person because of how he's been raised. He's been raised with money, because he didn't even understand the terminology when they were saying that you was raised with a silver spoon in your mouth. But when you look back, I think it was about a year ago, a Waffle House situation where the cook in the Waffle House, he wasn't speaking to King, he was speaking to one of the other employees by saying, don't talk to him, because he was trying to defuse the situation. He said, don't talk to him. And then King addressed him and was like, who are you? And the man, who are you? So they kind of went back and forth. And so what I want to do is share a video where T.I. actually addressed this situation. But what I want you to focus on more or less is when T.I. was stating what he stated to King about how he's speaking to adults, because he might run into a situation that he can't handle. So I want to share that video with you.
I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it, and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. And fire your shit. What? On game what? On game what? Come here. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. We out here. We out here. I'm outside. I'm outside. Come on, shake some. Come on, shake some.
But at the same time, I also explained to him, you get out there and you get yourself in grown man business and something to go away that you ain't want it to go. Man, shit, you gonna learn what real adversity is. But that's something that you have to learn with growth. The evolution of a man is constant.
Ain't no mystery about here. I know you don't. I know you don't. I know. I know you don't. I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me. You know I stand on business. You know I stand on business. Why you even letting somebody play with me like that? Why you letting somebody play with me like that? Why you letting him play with me like that? Why you letting him play with me like that? No, ain't no joking.
You are embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself.
Hey, what is she talking about? Get off me. Man, get off me.
Well, you can't do nothing with me. Ain't shit you can do with me.
So as you can see in that video, it's basically, hindsight is 2020, because T.I. was saying you're going to run into a situation that you're not going to be able to handle, and you're going to realize what life is really about. And then he had to be the one to kind of put his son back in his place to let him know that you can't do anything with me. And then the other thing, when you look at this video, people were saying, they don't understand why King want to be a thug, why King want to act like, he hard, he grew up in the hood. King want to be a rapper. And look who he has as an example. Even though T.I. is not living that life, but he did glorify that life in his music. He's talking about being a trapper, doing this, doing that. And King is around that. So King is going to emulate that. I know as parents growing up in the South, there was a saying, do as I say, not as I do. But in this situation, he wants to be a rapper. Most people who want to be a rapper, they want to have street cred. They want to be thugs. They want to be hard. They want to be gangster. So he's trying to live out that life because after that Waffle House incident, he ended up getting arrested. I'm not sure what he got arrested for, but he ended up getting arrested, and his mugshot was, everywhere. So it's like he's building up he's building up street cred because he wants to be a rapper like T.I., being a rapper. And I will show you that video as well. It's going to be 2 videos that I'm going to show of him rapping. So you can see with King, like I said, he want to be a rapper. He want to be like T.I. And so he need that hood life, that street credibility, because not only T.I., but other people he's around who have been in that lifestyle. And even though you're not really glamorizing it, you're talking about it. But when you're a young person and you're looking up to these people, it's like you want to emulate them in some type of way. Then also in the video with the scuffle with the at the Atlanta Falcons game, you see where King was saying that he feel that he was a mistake. He was saying, if I was a mistake, just say I was a mistake. Not only did he say that in that video, he said it on his Instagram post that he deleted. And then he was also on someone else's show and he mentioned that as well, that he was a mistake. And then he was like, saying to T.I., you really don't F with me. And so I'm going to kind of get back to that as parents. And then I want to kind of bring the Bible into it, because I always say the Bible has, it's nothing new in this world. And the Bible has the answer for everything, basically. And so as a parent, and I have said this before, I made another video. I grew up in a dysfunctional household. And I went through a lot as a child. I was in a dysfunctional relationship that was very physical, mentally, and emotionally abusive. A lot of people love to say, I am a good parent, or I did my best as a parent, but they never apologize to their kids. I said I would never go back. If I could go back in time, I would not change anything that I personally went through, because that's part of who I am. But I would go back and change what I did as a mother for my son. I don't see myself as being a good mother to him because of my attitude that I had, because I was going through a lot. and him being in certain situation and around certain people, that I would have never had him in those environments. I would have been a better mother to him, because I feel like if I would have been a better mother to him, his life would have turned out differently. It would have went into a different direction. So I apologize to my son for that, even though he never asked me for an apology or anything like that. But I own who I am, and I own the things that, the situations that I put him in, and the fact that I could have done better. So I did go ahead and apologize to my son. A lot of parents would never apologize to their kids. Even if their kids come to them and say, I had a problem with this or that or another, they would just say, well, that's like, didn't I feed you? Didn't I do this? Didn't I? It's not about that. It's about owning who you are as an individual. But like I was saying before, a lot of people like to use the Bible to control people. And I don't feel like you should do that. And when people were saying that everything fell on King, they were saying that, they was using the fifth commandment of the 10 commandments. They was using the fifth commandment, honor your mother and your father, and your days will be long upon the land. But if you're going to do that, and that's why you should read the Old as well as the New Testament. That's very important, to read the whole Bible. And it's very important to get understanding, the true understanding of what the Bible is saying. And so I want to go over that with you. In Colossians 3:20 through 21, children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. Ephesians 6:1 through 4. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother. This is the first commandment with a promise, that it may go well with you and that you may live long in the land. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instructions of the Lord. And then when you read Proverbs 22:6, it says, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. And so, like I said, I want to kind of get back to what King was saying, that he feel that he was a mistake. When a child says that, they're saying that because they heard something. You may have said something to them, or they done heard a conversation that they wasn't meant to hear. But he feel that in some way, shape, or form, he was a mistake. And then also going back to Deyjah, and I'm only saying this because she had posted this herself. She was, she said at the age of 11, she had a lot of anger in her, and she released her anger by self-harming herself. On her left arm, you can see where she, has been cutting. So those two kids are both his, and they are hurting in some way, shape, or form. And so, Deyjah well, they're both adults now. So Deyjah, I don't know if she's getting counseling or what type of help she's getting to help her through this process. But that's why it's important to understand the full dynamic of the Bible. To just say everything, these kids are coming into this world, they don't know anything, they're innocent. So to put the weight on them and saying they should just listen and do everything their parents say they should do, but the parents bear no responsibility or choose not to take any responsibility. That's why in the Bible you see where it says, kids, yes, obey your parents, but parents, don't provoke your kids, and don't put them in a situation where they're going to become angry. So there's a responsibility in being a parent, that you need to also respect your kids, respect that they are here, respect that they don't know everything they need to know, and that you're not there just to command them to do this, to do this. They are human beings that are learning, that are going to make mistakes, that are going to have questions, and they expect you to answer those questions. In Matthew 22:37, he states, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the laws and the prophets. So if you think about it, who is your neighbor? If you're a husband, your wife is your neighbor. If you are a parent, your kids are your neighbors. So you should treat them, your wife, your husband, your kids, your family, people in your household, you should treat them the way that you want to be treated. So don't go around just saying everything is on the kid, everything is on king. Everything cannot be on king when he don't have control over the people around him, when he don't have control over what's been said, what's been done in front of him. Now that all this is out in the world, I seen a video where someone was saying that King wasn't T.I.'s son and that he was another man's son. So it's all this stuff that's coming up that's embarrassing the family, but you can't put all that on King. Like I said, it's a family dynamic. It's something they need to work on as a family. The kids themselves need to work on it individually because they are grown, so they need to make sure that they're okay. And then they can see if they can work it out as a family to see what's going on as a family dynamic. Why was he self-soothing at, wanted to suck a pacifier at that age? Why was an 11-year-old, so upset that she had to self-harm? Because I stated before when I was 10 years old, I wanted to, I didn't want to be on this side of I didn't want to be in the world anymore. And I made a decision that I was going to take my life. And I remember as an adult talking to my mom, and I'm saying to her when I was 10, I decided I wanted to take my life. The thing that hurt me about that conversation with my mom is she never asked me why. Why at the age of 10? What was going on at the age of 10 that you no longer want to be here? So that first day I'm thinking, well, maybe she kind of, it was a lot for her to hear at that time. And I'm thinking, well, maybe she'll bring it up later. She never did. She never brought it back up. She never questioned me like what was going on, why I wanted to, didn't want to be in the world anymore. She never asked me that. And so that made me feel like if I would have went through with it, would you have cared? Would you have even cared if you don't even care to ask me what was going on? Am I still feeling that way? Do I still have that pain? It was never asked. So like I said, it's a family, it's something going on in the dynamic of the whole family that they need to kind of look at and see how they need to handle it and move forward. But, like I said, don't use the Bible to kind of try to control people by just placing everything on this one person, when the Bible itself says that the father and the mother, as well as the kids, have responsibility. And if everyone is hitting their point, everyone is hitting their mark, everything would, work a whole lot smoother. There's no such thing as perfect. So there was never be a perfect dynamic, but it might be a smoother dynamic. And a child should always feel safe and to go talk to their parents. They should be able to talk to their parents about anything without worrying about the ramification of what may happen to them or what their parents might say to them or do to them. And so that door should always be open where the child should feel safe to be able to come and talk to their parents. As always, I will leave the full videos that I have shown in my video in the description box. And I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel as well as like this video.